So how is a 19-year-old who works as a cashier at a grocery store like me able to afford a BMW? Well, two reasons. One, this BMW is at the very bottom of its depreciation curve. It's not in exactly perfect condition, and I am leaving a place called Pick and Pull, which is a junkyard. In case you didn't know what Pick and Pull was. I don't even know why I'm doing that. This is a red light. So, this is my 2005 BMW 325 Xi with 5-speed manual. I bought this last June for $2,800 and quickly realized that I made a mistake because it has oil rings that are on their way out. It likes to smoke the good stuff, the blue smoke, and it's ruined two of its spark plugs by covering them in oil. So yeah, I didn't buy it thinking I was going to get that, but well, here we are. But we are 12,000 miles in with this car, and everything's totally fine. It's been pretty reliable, actually. Get to pull onto the highway. This doesn't break it. Pulls pretty well. Yeah, not bad at all for something with so many miles on it, especially for a BMW, which people tend to think that BMWs are all horrible and unreliable, which, you know, some of them are, but this one mostly isn't. It's a very good daily driver. It's got all-wheel drive. As I said, it's an XI. So it's got all-wheel drive for the winter, which is rear bias, so it's a bit easier to get the tail out and have a little fun, but it's also easy to not kill yourself as well, because you've also got front wheel traction, and I'm getting boxed in here. So you've got a little bit of front wheel traction, so it's really easy to straighten it back up. I personally am kind of looking forward to winter just so I can go to a parking lot and, you know, mess around. But over the past year and 4 months, it hasn't been super bad. People like Louis Garage like to bash on BMWs because they keep on making mistakes and owning the wrong ones. If you want one that's reliable and actually lasts, well, you know, sort of lasts, then this 6-cylinder non-turbo 2005 E46 is a pretty good car. It's just the only problem is it's kind of not very exciting, especially for enthusiasts. Enthusiasts don't really tend to give you much respect. Sorry if the camera's shaking. Enthusiasts don't tend to give this car much respect because it's only a 325, which I was kind of surprised about, but it does make sense because they're pretty much everywhere. Cars like these. It's a pretty good car. My last car was an E36, and wasn't technically my car, it was my dad's car, but it was in such poor of a condition that I was basically the only person that ever wanted to drive it, because I liked it. I mean, it had a certain personality to it, and it sounded really good because the exhaust was rusting out. It sounded really good. It always put a smile on my face. It only ever left me stranded once because of a bad radiator. Well, technically twice, actually, but it's both from the same problem. In that car, you can actually see an older video of me driving it on my channel. I wouldn't recommend it though, because it's probably not a very good video, and this probably won't be a very good video either. You can tell I'm not experienced with talking in front of the camera. The thing that's nice about an E46, what I'm basically trying to talk about, is that it's so much better built in comparison to an E36 in terms of the interior quality and just cosmetics in general. It's very well built compared to what an E36 is. If you own an E36 at all, or if you've owned one before, you will know what I'm talking about. Door panels fall apart, pixels die, the headliner comes off, the windows break. I had the driver's side door handle break apart on my A36, and then literally within days of replacing it, the other side broke. And I never fixed it because what's the point? I mean, the car had so much rust, which if you see it on my channel, then you'll know like it had a lot of rust. It had pretty much E36s the interiors are so badly built in my opinion, but E46s aren't perfect. They have Vanos problems, which mine, I had the Vanos rebuilt when I first bought it, so I don't really need to worry about that. They have some sort of suspension thing that they have that goes wrong on them. I can't exactly remember what it is, but I know that, I'm trying to remember what it was. I know that this car doesn't have that problem. You can hear me using my turn signal there. Whoa! This car actually had that fixed before I bought it, so I don't have to worry about that either. I do have a brake pad warning up in my gauge cluster, but the brakes break the car, so you know there's nothing to worry about there. And it just feels like such a huge step up from an E36 in terms of build quality. I'd say the E36 engine was a little better because it is more powerful than the engine I have in this car for whatever reason. And it felt faster, probably because that thing had so many missing pieces and rust that it just was so much lighter than this thing is. But, I mean, in terms of something you want to drive every single day, an E46 is just so much better. Cosmetically, it's better. You can get it with all-wheel drive like I have here. It's got heated seats. It's got wonderful climate control that really just warms up the car very well. Once again, I'm sorry if the camera's shaking. I'm not good at this. It's got windows that work. And it's safe, too. I mean, it's got good crash test ratings. I've got side airbag right here. I've got a curtain airbag for front and rear passengers. Driver's side and passenger side airbag, but the sensor for the passenger side airbag isn't working, so if I have a passenger in the car and I get into an accident, then they're dead, which I should probably work out. But I did have a recall done, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a much better car to live with on an everyday basis. Like, definitely, it's a lot better. I will say the E36 felt a little bit more fun. Probably because it was so loud and it was just so ridiculous. Yeah, it was a fun car. I ended up actually selling that to a guy who wanted to use the engine a couple weeks ago for $400. I really didn't want to see that car die, but it wasn't my choice. It wasn't my car. This is my car. My name is on the registration, and I do pay for the insurance. This one's 100% my car. Well, talk about incontinuity, because now I've decided to take my sunglasses off. Here we are at my garage, and I'm about to reveal the other car, which, I'll just show you. Yeah, I bought a Freelander. I'm really dumb, but here it is. Now, if you know Freelanders at all, you will know that they have a tendency to blow head gaskets, and, yeah, take a guess what was wrong with this car. It's been mixing its coolant and its oil, which is very bad, making some really nice diarrhea, basically. That's the only way I can describe it. And, well, there's no bumper anymore because we had to take the bumper off to get to an exhaust manifold bolt. An exhaust manifold bolt. One exhaust manifold bolt. One. I bought this car thinking it wasn't going to be super hard to work on because I've worked on Land Rovers before and they're not too bad. And I bought it kind of as a project because everyone else in my family has either a Discovery or a Range Rover, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm going to do the Chris Fix thing here. I'm like, hey, why don't I just buy something different? Which was such a stupid idea. We got the bumper on the roof, which, as with any good old Land Rover, is very sun faded. It's got 127,000 miles on it, which I'm starting to not believe. But I'll just show you the inside. My dad, sorry, I'm shaking the camera like an idiot. My dad thinks it smells really bad in here. I don't think it smells that bad, but maybe that's because I'm a teenage boy. But and there's the interior. I mean, that does not look like a 127,000 mile shift boot, but I've got another one. That is Bernie the dinosaur. He's gonna be my pal. That middle top gauge is the most important because, you know, it's temperature, it's a Land Rover, it's gonna overheat. I bought this car in Provo, which is about 30 minutes away from where I live in Cottonwood Heights, but 10 hours if you, well, not 10 hours, 6 hours if you're trying to drive home in a car with a bad hip gasket. And yes, that's what I did. It broke down like 12 times. Because I'm an idiot, I decided not to tow it, but came with a ton of spare parts, like new wheels, stuff I've already gotten for it, like a window, CV axles, 9 oil filters for whatever reason. Got myself one of these Adventure style spare tire covers because I like them on Land Rovers. It's nice to have a car that has seats that fold down. I can't open this door. So yeah, if I'm going to be continuing this YouTube thing, I will be updating you guys. Man, I'm so bad at this. I'm going to be updating you guys with well, updates on this car. I feel very dumb about it already, so feel free to bash me in the comments how stupid I am for buying a Freelander, because chances are I've already told myself that. So yeah, I will update you guys on this train wreck of a car. All I can say is that I'm glad Rover Cars is out of business because they deserve it. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you later.